Oh, hey,
Over there?
yeah.
Okay. I just wondered.
Have to make it a little interesting if at all possible.
Yeah.
As she said, we see Mama Linda in there and Chris in there. Mama Linda saying, hey, hey, hey. That one I got to respond, hey, do a Fonzie.
Piggy doing the con, Piggy doing the Aussie.
Yeah. Well, when she put the hey, 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 H-U-Y and H-A-Y,
Yeah.
just put, give it an A feel to it. And the only thing that I get from that is Fonzie.
Yeah.
Love,
Okay.
love Fonzie.
True fact about Fonzie. This comes from Henry Winkler himself. That motorcycle, he rode it for a total of 15 seconds throughout the Happy Days saga.
Yeah,
Total.
probably on loan from some collector.
He didn't know how to ride a motorcycle. So they had him for one of the scenes where Fonzie was riding the motorcycle. They had him riding like uphill. He said that was only 15 seconds that he actually rode that motorcycle. And he was scared to death.
Well, he pulled it off good.
Yeah. Hey, Melinda. Almost like
Melinda.
Johnny.
Almost like Johnny.
That's what she said. I don't know.
Might have to explain that one, Mama Linda. Tina! I still ain't going there.
Hi, Tina.
You know what I mean.
I hear something. Got that little.
That little shaver.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out what I was hearing.
Yeah, she, what you do? TikTok,
Yeah, it's on TikTok. Not.
on TikTok shop. She found this little shaver. And she's going to have me try it out to see how it does. It don't do too bad for a little bitty thing that it is. It's been keeping my head shaved down. Now, it don't get quite as close as a razor. But hey, it gets most of it. She wanted me to see how it went for me before she got a second one that she could have. Just a little bitty thing. That's the button to turn it on and off. I don't know. That glare is going to keep you from seeing the numbers.
Probably.
Anyway, that little circle is where the numbers show up so you can see how much charge you got on it. They make sure that it gets charged from the butt, so it always has a pain in the butt when being charged. Tina. I just had to do that.
I'm gonna say, let's get this party started.
Then you take this little cap off. That's what the top looks like. After you shave a little bit, you just take you unscrew this top where all the little blades are and everything. The best way to clean it out is just to tap it against the surface, then use the little brush thing to clean it further. Then you just screw it back on, put the lid on it. It's ready for the next time. I can shave my head twice and plus on a single charge. I could probably do it 3 times. I haven't done it yet. I got down to about 40 something percent. So I probably could have shaved my head once or twice more with it before having to charge it up. So that's not bad.
Yeah, well, they're neat little shavers. I mean, they're not very big, but they get pretty close.
Yeah, they get close. I've showed her one before that I'd like to have. It's got 3 heads to it. The bulldog. You hold it with the neck of it between your fingers, and got 3 floating heads under it, and then the motor and stuff rest on top of your hand, and you just do like that, like you're watching your head. That's the little bitty cord for it. Put the USB in the adapter, and you put the USB-C in the butt of that thing. Charge it. I also use it to help charge stuff up from this charger. So I've had some trouble with that here lately. Some of it may be user error. So
You talking about needing it? That'd be great for you in surgery. You're gonna have to have surgery, Mama Linda.
Mama Linda, you might need to leave all that up to the medical staff that's going to be doing all that. I don't know what the surgery is. Not likely. Might not want to know. Some things men just shouldn't know. She ever worked in surgery? Oh, so you're saying it would be great to have in a surgical setting to help with stuff? Yeah, it said it's supposed to be able to take a full head of hair and just go through it, take it all off. I really don't see that. But hey, they got to try to have a marketing angle somehow.
But what's new, Piggy?
Not me.
No, you're old. So.
Yeah, I is. And I feel older than what I am.
Amen, Melinda. Amen.
Yeah. And there's some things either one of us shouldn't know. But we do. But that's life.
Mm-hmm.
On TikTok, there's this guy I've been watching every time it comes up. He takes different topics. Usually it's songs, and he converts them to talking about food. He's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. I've heard him.
I've seen a lot of his stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, he is hilarious. Now, somebody asked him to do something concerning some other thing, but not songs. I think he did one on the Taco Bell. I'm wanting to say it was something about Legos or something. But dude's a genius. And he's funny at it. I'd have to look him up. I'd probably look him up fairly quick. Get this up and see if I can pull him up. I listen to guys like Wolfie on Wolf Hat Facts, all sorts of stuff. This guy right here. Let's see. He doesn't have a name per se. He's got something with GVDS 10244. But he's hilarious. Anyway, y'all want to check him out sometime. See if I can get this where y'all can see it. That's probably going to be backwards to you. GVDS 10. Oh, come on now.
That's it. GBDS
10244. And he's on TikTok. You got TikTok? Look that up. Dana, I might send it to you so you can send it out to everybody. Get him known about. You will laugh your tail off.
I think he has a YouTube channel too, I'm not sure.
He probably does. All right, now you keep going to ad, you don't go to him. You little turkeys. This one's titled The New Jack Black. It's up right here. Let's see. Well, if he does, it don't say anything about one on here. Let's see if it does on one of his.
I could be wrong. There's a lot that do and a lot that don't.
Right. But he could take this to YouTube. He could probably do well. See, he's got, how many followers has he got? He got 31.4 thousand followers on here. That's not bad. And I've not been seeing him for that long.
Linda said she don't need one of those shavers. She's part American Indian and don't have hair in some places. Yeah, I'm part Native American too, Melinda, but unfortunately I got the wrong genes.
No, what you got is some women have a little bit too much of the male hormone.
Yeah.
And so it causes them to grow hair in places they wouldn't normally grow hair. And
when I was born, I was covered head to toe in hair.
Yeah. So, and the problem with looking into getting treatment for that is, one, it's very costly. I've known about it for 30, 40 years. There's a treatment for it.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is it helps get rid of the male hormone out of a woman's system so that she doesn't have that problem anymore. But the problem is it's a type of hormone therapy, and the type of cancer she had feeds on hormones.
Female hormones.
estrogen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Melinda, I can see how that could be taken way out of context. But the fact of the matter is, that's just a fact of life. Some Native Americans and people who have Native American blood in them uh, don't have any hair in certain places. Like I barely grew any chest hair, and what I have is right here, and it's barely there. I don't have that much armpit hair. I can't grow a full beard. It's splotchy at best. Kathy, get your spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would be a result of some male hormone being in your system outweighing the female hormone and causing that.
Yeah, Katie, I've got the same problem. Oh, mine's the upper lip, the bottom, the chin. I could make people think Piggy was driving around the lumberjack if I didn't take care of mine.
Probably. But I found out about all this almost 40 years ago. My first wife had that problem. And that's how I found out about it. And that's why I know about it. Tickle, tickle, Mama Linda. And so that's what it is. It's just a condition that some women get because something somewhere went haywire. There it is. Does not make a woman any less of a woman. I can grant you that. Of course, it made my first wife less of a woman. You talk about a cold fish. So, but anyway, there's so much I can say on that. It ain't even funny, but that was almost 40 years ago. I'd rather leave it behind where it is. 40, almost 40 years in the past. Well, it's kind of funny, Mama Linda. That's probably where the bearded lady in circuses and stuff came from. She found a woman that had that condition, and
Mm-hmm.
she made some money off of it. Why not? It's like there's a lot of blonde women. They make good money off the fallacy of dumb blonde. Blondes are actually kind of smart.
Somewhere.
Somebody came across a woman who was a blonde and was very dumb and ditzy, and so therefore the dumb blonde thing was espoused. And the rest of the blonde women out there, they're like, okay, that's how they want to play it. I got you. And so use the dumb blonde persona to make out real good. Good thought of Brady get in. So, you know, they use that dumb blonde thing like a little Johnny joke. Little Johnny, one of the jokes is some of the boys were playing him for stupid. They'd hold out a dime and they'd hold out a nickel. They tell him take whichever one you think's worth more. Well, he takes a nickel. they do enough, he takes the nickels and save them up and make them into dollars. Somebody asked him, well, little Johnny, you know they're making a fool out of you because you're taking the nickel when you could be taking a dime. Little Johnny said, yeah, but if I take the dime, they'll know I'm hip to what's going on. He said, as long as they think I'm dumb, and they'll give me the nickel every time. Those nickels turn into dimes, those dimes turn into dollars. So they'll keep giving me nickels so they can have a laugh, and I'll have their money. So little Johnny was actually pretty smart.
Thank you, Melinda.
So and that's what a lot of blondes did with the dumb blonde thing. They like, all right, these men want to think we blondes are dumb. I'll play dumb. I'll get all I want to. Well, having to do much hum to, if you know what I mean. This is one of the many ways where women are often much smarter than men because
I love you too, my Melinda.
they're quicker to pick up on things and then turn around and use it against those who would make it seem like a bad thing. I'll give another example. I maybe you may not like it, but you know that OnlyFans thing. There's a lot of girls out there making tons and tons and tons of money doing OnlyFans. They smarter than the girls hitting the streets for it. They show a little tease, get people to pay to come in and see a little something something. And that turns into millions of dollars a year. They ain't having to go out and be a hooker or call girl or anything like that to make chump change. And they getting lots of men and women who think they're dumb for getting on there and showing their bits and producing other merchandise from that. They got tens of thousands of dollars or more coming in every month. Those people giving them the money, see just a little bit, and not have to worry about being touched. That's actually kind of smart. Everybody got to make a living somehow. That's what they choose to do. They choose to do it. They making money at it and being successful, so be it. That's on them. But at least they ain't out there on the street being a problem and also getting involved in drugs and stealing and all like that. Johnny Small Pepper.
Hi, Johnny.
I got more respect for some of them too because at least they ain't being cheap hoes and lying and deceiving men a little at a time here and there, getting what they can off of this date or that relationship or whatever like that, they still being a hoe, but they're after the material things, and they tease a little off and suggest maybe a little coming their way, the guy's way, to get material things, material help, getting guys to fall in love with them and then leaving them when they see it's going to get serious. You know, at least the OnlyFans girls, they put it out there for what it is. They stay safe while doing it. The guy can choose whether or not. Either way you slice it, both examples are being a hoe. So I would have more respect for an OnlyFans girl than I would for a girl that does that to guys and plays with their heart. When it's said and done, the guy realizing he's been took for a fool and he could have had more in his life if he hadn't fallen for her trick. And those guys usually never get anything out of it, if you know what I mean. So, perspective. What's anybody else got going on? Anything, anywhere, any something, anywho, anyhow? In case y'all wondering, that was a Mentos strawberry flavor. I got regular mint flavor over here too. We go to the store. She wanting her a little something sweet. I wind up just getting some of these because can't really decide on a sweet. I can't have nothing chocolate, and they got mostly chocolate. So not a big selection for me. What things there are that I could, I don't like them because I taste mostly the chemical flavoring and other chemical flavors inside of it. So it's not enjoyable. Let's see. What else is there? A lot of junk still going on up on the hill. It's good. A lot of things getting found out. A lot of things getting took care of. A lot of things getting straightened out and turned back around the way it should be. And all that. One side is all up in arms about Texas redistricting and talk about gerrymandering. But the thing is that side has been doing a lot more gerrymandering than what Texas is supposedly doing. Texas is getting redistricted according to make sure there's proper representation across the board. The other side, when complaining about it, don't sit there and tell you there's 5, 10 states that don't even have any Republican representation. They got 30 to 50% Republican in that state, but those people aren't represented because there ain't no Republican seats in their state houses and in their federal Senate because there's no Republican representation. So That goes to show who's actually been doing some gerrymandering than who. But mainstream media and Democrats and rhinos ain't going to tell you that, because then that would show you the fallacy in their narrative. So it's a big mess.
Oh, well.
No airlines moving in Canada. Wonder why that is.
Probably on strike.
Huh?
They're probably on strike.
There ain't no telling. I ain't heard nothing about it, so I can't speak to that. But it's like, strike. Okay. Just like that Adam Schiff and Letitia James was trying to sue the fool out of Trump for a certain type of crime. Well, it's been proven Trump ain't guilty of that particular type of crime, mortgage fraud. But Letitia James and Adam Schiff is. They've already got the goods on that. And it's another classic case of them, classic case of the criminal pointing fingers at somebody else being guilty of doing something that they themselves are actually guilty of. So, just another classic case of that. Adam Schiff and Letitia James are the criminal. They tried to point fingers at Trump for being the criminal at the crime that they themselves have been doing. But on that level, it's also an example of that's what communists do, to throw shade on somebody else to keep that light from being shined on them. Melinda, they might have to get a major carrier from down here, or Tony and Johnny in Canada. I don't know who they are.
Tony, Tony's still teaching.
Oh, okay. Well, if they live in Canada, I can see how that might be a problem.
I know Scott lives up there.
Yep. Well, if they live close to the Canada America line, they might have to drop down across the border and hit an airline from there. I think Scott lives close enough to the American border. He can drop down below and go to an airport across the border in America and do it that way. A little bit more hassle, but it can still be done. Oh, Creekside Chronicles is who they are.
Oh, okay.
Creekside Chronicles, T and J live in Canada. Okay. Well, if they live close enough to the American border, they can just drop below the border, hit an airline from there, and go and come back the same way. So do you know why they're striking? I don't know anything about it. I want you to get me that little adapter off that flash drive thing you've got, so I can see if they would fit on this or not. You wait. Well, say you could have waited until after the live. That's why I said I'm gonna want. Nope, it ain't gonna do it. Because it's connected by USB.
Okay.
Now they'll figure out how to get back on there. There we go. Do you use that much?
I hadn't used it though. Still trying to figure out how to use it. I'm still working on it. And I hadn't figured it out yet. I mean, I know basically, but I can't figure out how to get the transfer. I know where you have to go to get the stuff that, but I can't figure it out. So I'll figure it out eventually.
It's supposed to be you just stick it in, follow a couple prompts, and done.
There ain't no prompts come up, so you have to go.
It's supposed to kind of like automatically do.
There you go.
Well, we'll look it up online here after a while. We'll check it out and see what it says about it.
Okay.
She likes to do that, folks. She'll get something and it's supposed to do something, and rather than reading up on it, she'll sit there and stick it in and try to see what comes up and try to work with it and try to see how to figure it out before she'll finally actually read up on it. And she's as bad about doing that as men are about reading instructions to put something together.
I have tried to read that. I followed the prompts. It only got pictures. I can't read it. I have to put it on magnifier to read it.
Well, I'll look at it after the live.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but y'all might can see how small that writing is.
Yeah, it's very small.
But I got a magnifying glass on a stand over here that I can pull out, plug in, light up, and put it under and see what I might can see then.
I think Melinda might be laughing at us.
I think she is. But we eventually get it figured out one way or another.
Before my eyesight went to taking a handbasket,
You could have read that.
I could have read it, no problem. Because I was the one that
But
always read
after you went through that with your eye and down there with that quack,
yeah,
went to the ER down there in Dalton, and the one doctor automatically concluded cataracts or glaucoma. They finally got an eye specialist to come in there. He looked at it and said, "No, it ain't that." So he's going to get a piece of his equipment in there, and it's one of his main pieces of equipment. He couldn't remember the name of his own equipment, and he's supposed to be a specialist.
Yeah, have a specialist that can't name his equipment, have an ER doctor trying to push pills on you.
Yeah, but while we was waiting on the specialist, going back and forth, the original doctor was trying to get her to, hey, Chris, was trying to get her to take some, what was it, morphine pills? Yeah, it was morphine.
Morphine, yeah. Keep them for a rainy day.
He said, "You'd always keep them for a rainy day." Like, dang, dude. You're no better than a pusher on the street.
Yeah. Hi, Chris.
He's trying to build him up some clientele.
Tell us, Alice. Tell her we said hi. That it said hi, and I'm praying for her.
That.
Yeah. I'll get it out one of these days. And I don't know why I'd make y'all think we're married. I mean, it's the way we saying, yeah.
Oh, our favorite thing to do from time to time is, you took the last hot pocket.
Yeah. And he'll be washing dishes. He'll say, I hope you don't mind. I look at him and say, you know I do. It just makes me so mad.
And I'll tell her, say, yeah, that's why I do it, just to piss you off.
Right, right, right. That's all I ever do.
Yep. I will refer to the Jeff Dunham thing with Walter. Nang, 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 nang.
That's called tongue tied. That's what that's called, Melinda.
That was called Piggy acting a fool. Well, Johnny, I don't know what, if anything, ever became of that doctor, but I do know that he suggested it, and then Elaine told him no. And well, you could keep them for a rainy day.
I said, that's okay. I'll take some OTC.
Possibly, Katie.
Yeah. Piggy language. That's it.
Called Piggy being silly.
I'm not one to take narcotics if I don't have to. Now, I will admit that little morphine drip was my friend when I was in the hospital for my surgery. But take into account that he just split me open and took my insides and swallowed them all around. So, yeah.
How many years ago was that with your eye? 3?
No, that happened in 2021, so that's 4 years ago.
4 years ago. But I have to tell you, Johnny, I've always thought of all doctors down there in Dalton as quacks. Okay, if that tells you anything. The only doctor I have met in Dalton in my entire life is when I took Elaine to the ER down there that one time, and that mass in her female area was discovered. And she said that she could do the hysterectomy, but she felt like she was not qualified to handle everything that was going on, and referred us to somebody in Chattanooga. That's the only legit doctor I've met down in Dalton in my 60 years.
If you was tired, Miss Linda, I ain't Papa, but yeah, it's time to go to sleep if you was tired.
Yep. Good night, Mama Linda.
Yeah, that was Dr. Woods, and she's a good doctor.
She was an excellent doctor. That was all it took, was for her to own up that she felt like there was more going on that she was not qualified to take on. And that gave me truckloads of respect for that doctor. Of course, her being a woman, she didn't have any ego to stroke. I about guarantee you there'd have been a lot of male doctors that would have said they could take care of it. Especially down there in Dalton, they're a bunch of quacks. Of course, I've met a few up in Chattanooga too.
I've met him everywhere. I met a really big quack up in Kentucky with Mama.
Right.
I asked who was working at night because with my mom's health where it was, she was in and out of the hospital emergency room all the time.
Don't matter, Chris. You can if you want to. Don't have to. Don't want to. Oh, Mama says, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
Well, that works too.
But yeah, this one doctor, he never could get Mama's stuff right as far as anytime she'd see him.
Oh, this got the potassium, wasn't it?
No, this is just regular doctor. Anytime she'd go into the ER, he'd see her. He never could diagnose her with anything correct.
Oh.
He'd always send her home, and she'd be back within a day or two, and then be admitted. And I asked the nurse on that one day which doctor was working that night. And she said, honey, I can't tell you that. And I called out the doctor by name. I said, if it's that quack, I don't want him seeing my mama. And he walked right by as I was saying it. It was another 30 minutes before my mama saw a doctor, but it wasn't him.
I bet he remembered you too and knew why you were saying that.
He never saw, if I was in the emergency room or if mom was in the emergency room, he never treated us after that.
He knew you knew.
Yeah.
You ain't got to be extremely intelligent and have all the credentials to be able to tell a quack. Your gut will tell you.
Chris, iced tea is the answer. How I get her. Yes, it was. It was iced tea. Mama Linda playing possum. Yep, Mama Linda playing possum. Sometimes you got to.
Right. Don't always pay to be seem like you're aware.
Yeah. I had one doctor up there. He looked at my mom. And take account, he had not been in the room to see my mom. And my mom was sitting on the side of the bed, talking to everybody to come in. And all he did was he looked at her CO2 levels. This woman needs to be intubated. I looked and I said, because I had just gone out to speak with the respiratory therapist that was out there. And he was telling the little nurse, he was looking at Mama's chart, he said, she needs to be intubated. I said, is he? He been talking about my mama, surely. And the respiratory therapist said, who are you talking about needs to be intubated? He said, Miss Brazier here, she needs to be intubated. I said, why? She's sitting on the bed talking to you if you go in there and look at her. Well, her CO2 levels, little respiratory therapist had to pull her chart and flip back and show him Mama's CO2 levels for what they normally were. And he said, how's she alive? How's she alive? That's too high. They said, that's her normal levels. What would kill a normal person was normal to her.
That's why I say they don't know enough about genetics and physiology in human beings to be able to make it all totally cookie cutter. Yeah, it's just like an alcoholic. There's alcoholics out there that can function totally drunk and do jobs, drive, do everything else better than somebody sober because their bodies run on that. The alcohol, the chemical that's produced in an alcoholic, becomes a part of their working physiology, not something that'll make them drunk. You know, it's like a vitamin that they can't live without, and everything. So, there's that.
But
Mama Linda saying meow meow purry purry.
don't got no meow meows in the house. They're all outside right now.
That's why I was looking around. I was wondering, she see a kitty I don't know about? Anyway, that's why I say a lot of doctors is quacks. And then after all this stuff about the C word, everything that's been learned off of that, and then learning about a B12 deficiency being the number one cause in most people with sleep apnea, and doctors know it, but they'll automatically go to the CPAP option. Tells me they don't serve their Hippocratic oath. they're serving the money, not their oath.
Yeah.
So that's why I say a lot of them are quacks. They may have the knowledge, but they're going to go the way of the money and not the way of the cure or solving the problem, which is what they're supposed to do, but they don't because they make more money doing this option over here. Lost all respect for a lot of doctors I've seen. Like that little Heather, got a lot of respect for her. She's a friend of mine by way of her husband being the son of Deb that I've talked about. That's a friend of mine, and she had went to school to become a pharmacologist. Elaine had seen something about this one type of product that's supposed to help with hormone problems in women who have had hysterectomies and all that stuff. And Elaine was wondering whether or not it might be an option. So we went to where Heather works, caught up with her, and she happened to be out in the main part of the store, not behind the pharmaceutical counter. And we asked her about it. When we mentioned the name of the product, she was like, "No." We looked at her like strange. She said, "It's the same as hormone. It will feed on that like it would on the hormone." She's like, "Okay, that option's out. That's not an option." She was honest. Of course, if she had suggested it, and she told us point blank, if she was to suggest something like that, and we did it, and it caused Elaine's cancer to come back, she could be held legally liable for having encouraged selling it to us. But of course, there's the fact that she loved both of us too, and everything. So she was both being professional and loving on us by telling us the truth of it. Like, no, you don't want to go there. That will help bring back the problem you got rid of. So, but a lot of doctors, and it's come out because of the C word thing, that they're not telling you the correct information. They're telling you stuff that leads to them getting more money and kickbacks because they're doing the treatment and they're not telling you what actually resolves the problem and cures it. They as bad as a used car salesman. They
Sometimes
they
worse.
they're selling you a lemon right off the bat, knowing they're selling you a lemon. So, and it's not a lemon you can make lemonade out of either. They could, and lots of it, because they'd be getting the money off of taking you down that route. So I don't trust doctors anymore. I didn't trust doctors that much before. But learning about the C word debacle and learning about the CPAP and what actually causes that in most people, yeah, it was mid 2000s when I went on a CPAP. Yeah, it's about 2005 or so, about 20 years ago. 0.25 and 2.5. Yeah, a lot of difference. Yeah. Well, when I went through that process of getting set up with a CPAP, The sleep study itself was $6,000. $3,000 for each night I had to go. I don't remember how much the CPAP machine cost. I had decent insurance at that time, so it paid for all of it.
They ran about $8,000 a matter.
Okay, so you're looking at $14,000 right there, right from the rip.
Then you have to invest in the tubing and the mask. And,
Yeah, and replacing the masks and straps and all like that, which gets costed about what? About $50 for all that each time.
the headgear, just the headgear, each time was $31. The mask, every time we had to order that, was
And that was just the silicone insides, wasn't it?
yeah
What goes in the plastic part.
yeah that's the replacement liner thing. Those were right around $30, but when we did the mask itself, it was almost $120 just for the mask.
And guess what? It's recommended you replace those every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you could be looking at $60 to $200 every 3 months to maintain that thing. So you're looking at thousands of dollars.
Yeah, when Piggy and I got together,
When there's a little bottle of B12 supplement will solve the problem in most cases.
We got together, his mask was broke. But Jimmy rigged it together and
Super glued, cherry rig.
I made sure he got a new one. That's
Yeah.
how I know how much it cost.
She managed the money and took care of me. But the thing of it is, we're talking about something that the doctors knew could have been solved by a cheap bottle of vitamin B12 supplement.
If they had just run the test.
If they had just tested for that. And they know they should test for that first. They don't. And now they go straight to the sleep study and CPAP. They're getting money on it. It's thousands of dollars. So they're going to get a nice little kickback off of that. Because they help sell a treatment that's very costly instead of solving the problem with B12.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I know what chicken tenders are. Crispy crowns.
Similar to tater tots on those rounds.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking that's what they are.
Like we'd get at Bojangles.
Yeah, but the smaller ones. Like you get at Hardee's.
Oh, okay.
At least I think that's what Krispy Kremes are.
So.
That's all right, Chris.
That's all right, Chris. I mean, you know, one of my lives, we have to go down 1,000 different roads.
I'm sorry to say, have you ever been in one of our lives, Chris?
Right.
We not go off subject.
Well, folks, it's been an hour. I would take a break, but since it's been an hour, I'm going to let y'all go, and I'm going to visit the wood chips and see what else we get into for the night and all like that, because I'm sitting here about to float. So, y'all think about it. Piggy loves ya.